Hi everybody, Matt Lawton here, and this is the Astrological Winds channel. And we are going to take a look at the astrological weather for the week of June 8th or 7th, 8th, no, 8th through the 14th. 8th through the 14th, Monday through Sunday. And this week is all about Neptune. So basically, Mars is going to conjunct Neptune this week on Friday, exact, and the Sun is going to square Neptune exact on Wednesday. And these are the two main signatures of the week. So Neptune is the great dissipator of energy, and the way it normally is outputted by us. And so when Neptune affects planets by aspect, it will dissipate or lower the energy, and it will be hard to willfully take action in a successful manner when Neptune is involved, as far as what we consider normal headway in the real physical world. So the Sun is square Neptune on Wednesday and will be in effect, most of the week, but strongest obviously on Wednesday, Tuesday, and Thursday too. And Mars' that conjunction is on Friday, and that will definitely affect most of the week too, going through the weekend. So the Sun with Neptune is like, when there's this square, what goes on is that we see how our ideals are not fitting into reality well. So it can be very difficult on that level, because it seems like when we push our ideals, they kind of like have a tendency to slip away or slip through our hands, or we may get a little bit of success in appeasing some of it, but then we also get the realization of how much further there is to go to actually reach where we want to go. So it can be discouraging on a psychological level, therefore, and can have a tendency for some of us to be depressing, because we can see that the path to our perfect ideal is so long and arduous that we may never see the actual end of that. Also, on a physical level, it will drain our energy. So our bodies are more susceptible this week to all kinds of illnesses, infections, allergies, things like that. And, we are still in the world dealing with the coronavirus, although it's kind of taken back a little secondary with the news of the last couple weeks. But at the same time, this is ripe energy for that to fester, basically, is a good way to say it, where because people have been outputting a lot of energy and emotionally charged things, and now, like, you can see how strong and long the focus will have to be to succeed. It can be like a feeling of exhaustion can literally come in, and that psychologically transfers physically, which can actually lower our body's ability to fight off what it normally can. The energy is stronger and more solid. So that's what can make us open, from both Mars and the Sun represent a lot of the physical body energy and the way it actually normally outputs energy. So Neptune can really, really dissipate that, and can leave us like feeling pretty confused for sure. We need to be careful of being self-deceptive and self-defeating by holding on to our idealism to a point that's beyond common sense. It's like a lot of people will choose to escape. Neptune is the doorway to other levels of perception, so people will use different ways to get out of reality and go to other levels of reality or other places of perception. And so, like drug use, alcohol use, spirituality trips, religious trips, just going on a trip somewhere just to get away, anything that people would use to just, not have to face the stark reality of what's going on in front of them is something that is being fed by this energy. And so like another thing with it too is like unclear boundaries, and that can be squishy with the Venus retrograde going on too. So it can really like be a strong dissipator of our normal energy and leave us, feeling psychologically low, depressed, and physically exhausted and tired. And those things make us susceptible to, disease and escapism. So the best way to use that energy is to focus it, because there is a square there. So the square, it means we're going to act, despite this. So like the best way really is if you're an artist, using the square energy, that's that tension that, makes you actually go from the ideal, the Neptune, into, using the tools that you use, whatever they may be, to make the form. So if you do any kind of art, it is definitely a good time to use the tension energy to spark the creativity. And the same with like our spiritual journeys, like using that energy to really propel us forward in our search for like answers, higher consciousness, spiritual questions and values and philosophies, and to question, where we're at, and try to push it forward. Now the danger with Neptune and with the Mars and Neptune too is to actually follow the wrong path, to get so diluted by someone who's promising something and not really using your common sense again, and then becoming like too much of a follower, and allowing yourself to be like manipulated or deceived or diluted. So like that, that's a danger of Mars, Neptune, even Sun, Neptune, of just like becoming too much of a follower. The Mars, Neptune, a little bit more is just, it definitely is a dissipator of physical energy. And the best way to use like Mars, Neptune is to do like slow movement stuff. So like, hatha yoga or tai chi or any of those like, slow body type movements. And it's really good too for like even like, meditation, in just like, trying to stay in a calmer space. Mars Neptune can really like, make your body feel weird at times. Like you almost feel like your body's like taking on, some of the karma or energy around you. So it can like definitely like affect your attitude too, and get you, you know, possibly down or susceptible to looking for answers that are overly idealistic and not really well based in reality. So you can, I almost say it's almost like the false prophet kind of energy, like, because you're just kind of looking for something that may not actually really be there, or it's not nearly as grandiose as you're imagining. In the bigger world too, like Neptune can bring storms, so I wouldn't be surprised if there were some big storms. And I think there actually is a big storm on the east coast of the United States even now. So like, yeah, Neptune can definitely, bring storms, and it can bring a lot of like, someone trying to like delude the public, by appealing to their ideals. And so that there's that danger. So the only other two things I wanted to mention was there were two Pluto transits that are definitely a little bit weird and a little bit challenging at the end of the week. The trans-Neptunian body Eris, which you've heard me mention a few times before, seems to have some effect, like Chiron and like the asteroids like Ceres and stuff too. Maybe not as strong as an effect as the 9, the 2 lights, and the 7 original planets. I'm still calling Pluto a planet. Will not stop doing that either. Anyway, Eris has proven to be like, Eris is the goddess of chaos, and so far from my observations and many other astrologers' observations, she seems to be definitely a little bit of a potent sore point. So Pluto is squaring Eris this week, and that sounds like some kind of chaotic thing could occur. I'm feeling like it's probably more related to world events, but like it could be like chaos created by leadership or those in power purposely, actually. And just look at that in your own life too. Like, are you trying to create chaos purposely through some power trip, and then the other one is the sun is quincunx Pluto. I remember I talked about the quincunx and the semi-square, those minor aspects, a week or two ago. So like, sun quincunx Pluto is another thing of like, lots of reformation, lots of power tripping going on, lots of changes in life, purging things, separating yourself from certain people and things and issues, and just like just like wanting to make adjustments, but like finding that like there's a lot of pressure involved both internally and externally in trying to do that. So it's almost like you're fighting to have to like change your life, and like you're fighting yourself and you're fighting others and circumstances to do that all at the same time. So yeah, that energy is coming in on the weekend. Both those Pluto transits are exactly. Now the Pluto Eris one is definitely more of a long-term one, so you can even see how that energy, as far as the world is concerned, is already manifested, where we just have like, the authorities have not really done a good job in the crises going on in society. And if anything, they've created more chaos by their actions because they thought they were going to be able to power trip their way through them. But at the same time, people have realized their power are creating a new kind of chaos that was not expected. So that, that's more of a long-term one. But the Sun-Pluto one is definitely like, okay, how do I purge some of this crap out of my life? Like both internally and externally. And, not an easy thing to do when it involves others or, society or what's going on. So last week was eclipse week, And that eclipse obviously has just triggered so much stuff. But remember, we're seeing already the solution lying in that Sun in Gemini part and the North Node in Gemini, saying local is the solution. Local. Local groups, local politicians, local community boards. Local is where the change must occur. And we're seeing this in society already. And we're feeling that individually too. So, that Sagittarian, like, religious pulpit kind of bully leader kind of thing, people aren't going for it anymore, and they're like literally just ignoring that, and seeing like a lot of the anger expressed of the Mars, and the Mars square to the eclipse too. So, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but like, I just had like in my personal life several major things happen during that, and obviously we're seeing this happen here. So we're in the midst of that eclipse season. We still have Venus retrograde for another two weeks, yeah, and then Mercury's going to be going retrograde in another week or so. So we are at no means out of the woods of a lot of these issues that we're having to react to on that local level, and that's local in our own lives, local in our community lives too. So lots of challenging times, and like I said, really the best way to use a lot of this energy this week is if you're an artist, there's a lot of creative energy available to actually manifest, make the art. And otherwise it's like going to your spiritual path, whatever that may be, and advancing it, and looking at it and growing from it, and changing what needs to be changed in it, based on what you've been going through. All right, this is Matt Lawton. This is the Astrological Winds channel. I am available for all kinds of readings. My email is matthuE823@gmail.com. And I do encourage you to share this post and any of my posts, my YouTube channel, with anyone you know who would be interested. And please, just become a follower on the channel too. That way, if I somehow can't blitz you socially, you don't miss any of the forecasts. All right. Until next week, try to smoothly sail the seas with Neptune, and don't take it too personally, because Neptune really doesn't care too much about our personal feelings. He's got a much bigger agenda for all of us together, and he's asking us right now to look at our ideas and change them. So let's work on that. Until next time, this is Matt Lawton. See you soon.